All right, my brothers and sisters, I'm the Reverend Point Blank sitting here with Ace.
Mikal-Ace Ngubani.
Mikal-Ace Ngubani.
Ngubani, brother.
Mikal-Ace Ngubani.
There you go.
That's a name to remember. So tell me what it means.
It means that I no longer wear the surnames of the people who owned my ancestors as African slaves. That's exactly what it means.
I see.
Yes, sir.
Wow, so that's amazing. I think that if you can tell me a little bit about, listen to the name, it kind of almost describes, tell me about your program, because it sounds Afrocentric.
As I like to tell people, I am the quintessential Afrocentric conscious brother and whatnot. Even though there are thousands of us in this particular country at this point, there are a lot of us who are in the, like Brother Umar Johnson or Umar Johnson and the like, those particular types of brothers and whatnot. We are in the business of trying to enlighten our people and give them a newer sense of consciousness, a sense of historical awareness and consciousness, which is what we do. I write books, I write stage plays, I'm a writer of sorts, I'm a published writer, not to be confused. You know, by any chance, you know the difference between an author and a writer?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, one's published and one's not. But anyway, so anyway, I see you didn't see the humor there, but it's
no,
okay.
I understand.
but anyway, I consider myself a writer, playwright, and everything that I concern myself with is along those lines, along Afrocentric related lines. And from that particular perspective. So now I have this forthcoming show, which you're about to see the preview of, a snippet of, and it will entail, give you an idea as to what kind of a format it is that I'm representing at this particular point. I should say my associates, because nobody can do anything on their own. So I'm showing you now at this particular point what we intend to present with the hopes of it being enlightening and informative and awakening the spirits and the mental senses of being and whatnot of some people in this country and abroad.
So this is not anything new. We have, like you said, Marcus Garvey, people that have been doing this for a long time, trying to bring awareness to the African American people as to who they are, where they've come from, and not to be bogged down with the surnames that they've been given and the attitudes and the whole slave mentality thing.
Right. Well, you have to remember, first of all, they were not slaves; they were prisoners of war. See, the language is very, very important in this. They were not slaves. There's no race of people in the world called slaves. Mm-hmm. You can go all over the world; you'll never find an ethnic group of people called slaves. What happened was
prisoners of war.
They were prisoners,
just like the Holocaust, just like the Japanese. I got you.
Well, the Holocaust lasted 4 or 5 years. The Japanese said, we're talking about something that lasted centuries. Prisoners of war for centuries, brother. And a lot of things can happen to someone in the course of 300 or 400 years of enslavement and imprisonment and whatnot. Can do a lot to your mind. So what it is, we're trying to, as best we can, we're trying to undo, to have them unlearn a lot of the things that they've been mistakenly taught and have accepted into their sense of being. This is what we want to do.
You want to take a look at the clip?
By all means, I want to see exactly what we're talking about here. I want the people to see, I should say, let me correct myself. I want the people to get an idea, get a glimpse of what it is that we're trying to portray as a collective.
Right.
What it is that we're trying to portray to them on our behalf and their behalf as well, in terms of, I don't want to say waking them up or anything like that, because that sounds a little too condescending. So we're not about the business of trying to wake anybody up. We just want to be a little more informative, along with other people who are in the business of doing the same thing at this particular point. And this is just another phase of it on my behalf, my presentation.
This is not a prejudice thing, it's a preparation thing and an acknowledgement thing about understanding who you are.
Well, if prejudice means having a love for your own kind, and having a love for your own kind first, then you can, prejudice, that particular word will do well. Now, if you were to say racist, that's another thing. But prejudice, if that means showing a preference or love for your own kind first and foremost, and everything else is secondary to that, then we can let that word suffice too, brother, as well.
All right, Ace, let's take a look at it.
Let's go. Hi, I'm Mikal-Ace Ngubani, and again, I want to thank the owners of this illustrious, beautiful restaurant here in Chicago, Jus Restaurant, and beside me I have the owner and his beautiful wife, and I'm thanking them on behalf of No One Radio and myself as well, and I would love for them to say something about this particular event and what you thought of this.
Well, thank you very much, and welcome. Welcome to Jus African Restaurant. Okay, Jus is a African restaurant.
And you're from where?
from Senegal.
Senegal, okay.
And I will say it is the closest part from Africa to Chicago.
Okay.
And I will say it's a door to Africa. So we welcome you to Yassa, and also really appreciate this first diaspora meeting here at Yassa.
That's right.
And we believe that Yassa is part of the bridge.
Yes.
We are building
a new level of
Africa and African Americans.
That's it. Now, is your beautiful wife, is she from
Senegal, yeah.
as well? And how long have you been in the country?
29 years yesterday to 29.
You make me want to go to Senegal.
29 years of being an American.
You make me want to go to Senegal.
Yes.
But anyway, like I was saying, so this is what we have here. These are some of the things that we're going to be doing on a regular basis. And our objective, our goal is to open up further lines of communications between ourselves so that we can do something about this divide that we have existing between us where we don't really understand and know one another. And it's been by design. We don't even understand that this was intentional. This is not something that naturally happened between us. And we're going to close that divide. With your help and with the two of you sitting in places like this is what we're going to do.
Yes.
One thing is for sure.
Yes, sir.